In the crystalline archives of the Galactic Historical Society, researcher Zixna carefully examined the ancient artifact floating before her. Her four eyes narrowed as she adjusted the temporal scanner, trying to date the mysterious warning etched into the iridescent metal. The message was simple yet disturbing. Approach Earth at your own peril. What sleeps there must remain undisturbed. The warning itself wasn't unusual. The galaxy was full of cautionary markers left by long-dead civilizations. What made this one different was its age. According to her scans, the artifact was over 50 million years old, predating most known spacefaring species. Zixna's translucent appendages trembled with excitement as she documented her findings. This was the 12th such warning she'd discovered in the past cycle, each from a different extinct civilization, each pointing to the same unremarkable solar system in the Orion arm of the galaxy. Another one. The familiar voice of her supervisor, Senior Archivist Ven, echoed through the chamber. The elderly Centaurian's crystalline form caught the archive's soft light as he approached. Yes, and this is the oldest yet, Zixna responded, her voice vibrating with barely contained enthusiasm. There's a pattern here, Archivist. These warnings span millions of years, left by species that should never have known about each other's existence. Yet they all point to the same planet. Ven's crystalline surface dimmed slightly, a sign of concern among his species. The Council has declared that system restricted for good reason. Researcher Zixna. Some mysteries are best left unexplored. But Zixna wasn't listening. Her attention had shifted to her data tablet, where she was compiling a timeline of the warnings. Look at this distribution, she said, projecting a holographic chart into the air. The warnings become more frequent as we approach the present day. Something changed about Earth around 10,000 years ago. The messages shift from danger to stay away, as if whatever they feared had awakened. Researcher, Ven's tone grew sharp. This line of investigation ends here. Those are Council orders. Zixna's upper eyes fixed on her supervisor, while her lower pair continued studying the artifact. With respect, Archivist, why would the Council restrict research into historical archives? Unless, her voice trailed off as a new thought formed. Unless they know what's there. The archive chamber fell silent, save for the soft hum of preservation fields. Ven's crystalline form had darkened to an almost opaque state, a sign of severe distress among Centaurians. Go home, researcher. Forget about Earth. Focus on your assigned studies of the Andromeda trade routes. But Zixna had already made her decision. That night, long after the archive's normal operating hours, she used her research credentials to access the restricted sections of the historical database. What she found made her four eyes widen in disbelief. The warnings weren't just about Earth. They were about humans. Species after species had encountered them, and each encounter ended with the same result. The observers became the observed. The hunters became the hunted. Early warnings spoke of a primitive species with inexplicable abilities. Later ones described a civilization that appeared primitive but harbored impossible technologies. The most recent warning, dated just a few hundred years ago, was different. It wasn't a warning at all, but a heavily encrypted message. They let us see what they want us to see. Earth's primitive appearance is a cage, and we are the ones trapped outside it. Zixna's appendages trembled as she downloaded the classified files. The Council's restrictions suddenly made sense. They weren't protecting the galaxy from Earth. They were protecting Earth's secret. But why? What could be so important about one species that the highest authority in known space would help maintain their deception? She had to know. Despite the warnings, despite the danger, despite the Council's restrictions, she had to understand what made humans different. What made them so feared that advanced civilizations would warn others away? What power did they possess that could make the mighty Galactic Council itself maintain their charade? As she prepared to leave the archive, Zixna noticed something odd. The temporal scanner was still running, but its readings had changed. The artifact's age now showed as less than a day old, Yet it looked exactly like the ancient warning she'd been studying. She reached out to touch it, only to watch her appendage pass straight through the seemingly solid metal. A hologram. An exact replica of the original, but created recently, very recently. Which meant someone, or something, had been watching her the entire time. As this realization sank in, the archive's lights flickered. When they stabilized, the holographic artifact had disappeared, replaced by a new message, floating in the air. Curiosity is admirable, but dangerous. You've been warned, researcher Zixna. The message used her name. They knew who she was. They had been watching, waiting, testing her reaction. But who were they? The Council? Or something else? She knew she should stop. Every instinct told her to walk away, to follow Ven's advice and forget about Earth. Instead, she clutched her data tablet closer and headed for the archive's exit. If humans wanted to stay hidden, she would find out why. And if they were watching her, well, that just proved she was onto something important. What Zixna didn't realize was that her investigation had already set larger events in motion. Across the galaxy, ancient systems were awakening, and on Earth itself, hidden monitors noted her interest with growing concern. The game of hide and seek that humanity had been playing with the galaxy for millennia was about to enter a new phase, all because one curious researcher couldn't resist pulling at a thread that was never meant to be pulled. The real question wasn't what Zixna would discover about humanity. The question was, what would humanity do about Zixna? Aboard the stealth research vessel Starweaver, Commander Rawl watched the blue-green planet through advanced sensor arrays. Earth looked deceptively peaceful from their hiding spot behind its moon, exactly like the thousands of other life-bearing worlds they'd studied before. But something felt different about this observation mission. Cloak status, Rawl asked, his scaled skin shifting colors with anxiety. Holding stable at maximum efficiency, Lieutenant Kira responded, her tentacles dancing over the control interface. Though she hesitated, we're detecting some unusual energy fluctuations in the pattern. Rawl moved closer to her station. In his 300 cycles as a xenobiologist, he'd never seen readings like these. The ship's cloaking field wasn't just fluctuating. It was being analyzed, probed by something that shouldn't exist according to their intelligence reports. "Show me the surface scans again," he ordered. The main view screen filled with images of Earth's civilization. Primitive combustion vehicles crowded their roads. Fossil fuel power plants belched smoke into the atmosphere. Their communications relied on simple radio waves and physical cables. By all appearances, they were centuries away from achieving interstellar travel. Yet something wasn't adding up. "Commander," the ship's AI announced, "I've detected an anomaly in the planet's power consumption patterns. Their visible infrastructure accounts for only 43% of their total energy usage." Rawl's scales shifted to a deep blue of concern. "Where's the rest going?" "Unknown. The energy simply disappears." The bridge crew exchanged worried glances. They'd been tasked with this mission after researcher Zixna's disappearance 3 days ago. The Council claimed it was simply to verify her findings, but Rawl suspected there was more to it. The speed with which they'd authorized this expedition was unprecedented. "Sir," Kira called out, "you need to see this." New data scrolled across her screen. Their sensors had picked up massive underground structures, completely shielded from conventional scans. They extended for kilometers beneath Earth's surface, far more extensive than any bunker system should be for their supposed level of technology. "That's impossible," Rawl muttered. "The energy required to maintain those shields alone would be—" He never finished the sentence. Without warning, every system on the Starweaver went dark. The emergency lights kicked in, bathing the bridge in an eerie red glow. "Report," Rawl barked. "All systems are operational," Kira responded, confused. "But nothing's responding to commands. It's like something else has taken control." The main view screen flickered to life on its own. A message appeared, written in perfect galactic standard. Your curiosity is noted, but unwelcome. You have 30 minutes to leave this system. They couldn't possibly have detected us, Rawl insisted. Our cloaking technology is generations ahead of their scanning capabilities. Correction. The ship's AI interjected. Our cloaking technology was generations ahead. Analysis suggests we've been visible to Earth's defenses since we entered the system. They simply chose not to acknowledge our presence until now. As if to emphasize this point, new sensor readings appeared on their screens. Massive energy signatures were emerging from Earth's moon, revealing hidden bases that their initial scans had completely missed. Ships of unknown configuration rose from the lunar surface, their design unlike anything in the Galactic database. Commander, Kira's voice trembled. I'm detecting weapons systems powering up. Their yield. Sir, a single shot could vaporize a small moon. Rawl's scales had turned pure white, the color of absolute terror in his species. The humans hadn't just hidden their true capabilities. They'd created a facade so convincing that it had fooled the entire galaxy. Their primitive appearance wasn't a sign of technological inferiority. It was a choice. Initiate emergency jump protocols, he ordered. Get us out of here. The drive isn't responding, Kira reported. Whatever they're using, it's locked down all our systems. The message on their screen changed. 25 minutes remaining. We suggest you use them wisely. Rawl understood now why the Council had restricted access to Earth, why so many civilizations had left warnings. Humanity wasn't primitive. They were so far advanced that they could render the galaxy's most sophisticated technology useless with apparent ease. Send the retreat signal, he commanded. Full compliance with their demand. The moment the signal was sent, their systems came back online. The Starweaver's engines responded instantly, as if they'd never been compromised. As they prepared to jump away from Earth, their sensors captured one final image, a massive door opening in the Pacific Ocean, revealing technology that defied their understanding of physics itself. Sir, Kira called out as they initiated the jump, we're being tracked. Multiple signals, following our quantum wake. Let them, Rawl replied, his scales slowly returning to their normal hue. They want us to report what we've seen. This wasn't just a warning. It was a demonstration. As the Starweaver disappeared into hyperspace, the truth hit him with stunning clarity. Earth's isolation wasn't imposed from outside. It was self-chosen. Humans hadn't hidden their technology because they were weak. They'd hidden it because they were strong enough to play a game of pretend with the entire galaxy. And now, for some reason, they were letting that mask slip. The question wasn't what humanity was hiding anymore. The question was, why were they choosing to reveal themselves now? Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Dr. Sarah Chen watched holographic displays showing the retreating alien vessel. Around her, the command center hummed with activity as operators monitored countless systems that the world above would consider impossible. They're gone, her AI assistant, Araya, confirmed. Quantum wake indicates they're headed straight back to Galactic Council space. Sarah nodded, her dark eyes reflecting the shimmer of holographic data. And our guest. Researcher Zixner remains in containment. Her vital signs are stable, though she continues attempting to analyze her surroundings. That brought a smile to Sarah's face. Even after being caught, the alien scientist hadn't lost her curiosity. It was exactly the reaction they'd hoped for when they let her discover those warnings. Director Chen, a voice called from behind her. The Council wants an update. Sarah turned to face Admiral James Harrison, her superior and one of the few humans who knew the full scope of Earth's capabilities. He looked tired. Coordinating humanity's greatest deception was exhausting work. Tell them Phase 1 is complete, she replied. The seed has been planted. Both the researcher and the observation team have seen exactly what we wanted them to see. Harrison's weathered face showed concern. Some think we're moving too fast. We've maintained this charade for 10,000 years. Why risk it all now? Sarah gestured to one of the displays, showing a map of the galaxy with countless points of light representing advanced civilizations. Because we no longer have a choice. The Horizon event is coming, and we need allies who understand what we really are. The Admiral nodded gravely. The Horizon event. A catastrophe their predictive engines had foreseen centuries ago. A threat so vast that even humanity's advanced technology couldn't face it alone. "Show me Zixna," Sarah requested. A new hologram appeared, showing their containment chamber. The four-eyed alien researcher was examining the seemingly solid walls with her scanning equipment, completely unaware that the entire room was a sophisticated simulation. "She's perfect," Sarah mused. "Curious, persistent, and most importantly, she asks the right questions." The council tried to stop her investigation, but she continued anyway. "That's exactly the kind of mind we need." And the observation team. They'll report everything they saw, exactly as planned. The galaxy's greatest minds will obsess over every detail, trying to understand how we hidden our true nature for so long. They'll form theories, debate possibilities, but they won't come close to the truth. A soft chime indicated an incoming transmission. Sarah's expression turned serious as she recognized the source. "It's time. Initiate contact protocol." In the containment chamber, Zixna froze as the walls around her shimmered and dissolved, revealing a vast chamber filled with technology beyond her comprehension. Before her stood Sarah Chen, smiling warmly. "Welcome to Earth, researcher Zixna," Sarah said in perfect galactic standard. "We've been watching your investigation with great interest." Zixna's four eyes blinked in rapid succession. You let me find those warnings. You wanted me to discover them." "Yes. Because you proved you were willing to look beyond the surface, to question what everyone else accepted as truth. We need people like you for what's coming." "What is coming?" Zixna asked, her scientific curiosity overcoming her fear. Sarah's expression grew solemn. "A storm that will reshape the galaxy. We've hidden our true nature not out of fear or hostility, but because we needed time. Time to prepare, to develop our capabilities, to understand the full scope of what we face." Holographic displays sprang to life around them, showing images that made Zixna's appendages tremble. Vast cosmic structures, technologies that rewrote the laws of physics, and at the edge of known space, a darkness that seemed to consume the very stars themselves. "This is why we maintained the illusion of a primitive world," Sarah continued. "Not because we feared the galaxy, but because we needed to develop our capabilities without interference. The surface civilization you see, the cars, the fossil fuels, the simple technology, it's all part of a carefully maintained balance, a way to let humanity develop naturally while our true civilization prepares for what's coming." "But why reveal yourselves now?" Zixna asked. "Because we can no longer face this threat alone. We need allies who understand what humanity really is. Not what we pretend to be, but what we've become. The warnings you found weren't meant to keep others away from Earth. They were tests, filters to identify those with the courage and curiosity to look deeper." Sarah extended her hand, a gesture of trust that transcended species. "We're offering you a choice, researcher Zixna. You can return to your people, report what you've seen, and let events unfold as they will. Or you can stay, learn the truth about humanity, and help us prepare the galaxy for what's coming." Zixna looked at the offered hand, then at the incredible technology surrounding them. Everything she thought she knew about humans had been wrong. They weren't primitive, weren't hiding out of fear. They were guardians, preparing for a war that the rest of the galaxy didn't even know was coming. She reached out with one of her appendages, accepting Sarah's hand. "Show me everything." Sarah smiled. Phase 1 was complete. The galaxy would soon learn why humanity had hidden for so long and what they had been preparing for all this time. The question was, would they be ready for the truth? The Galactic Council chamber erupted in chaos as Commander Rahl's report concluded. The massive holographic displays showed the evidence his ship had gathered. Impossible energy readings, advanced technology hidden beneath Earth's oceans, and weapons that could reshape reality itself. Impossible, thundered Representative Catal of the Regelian Empire. No species could hide such advancement for so long. But Zixna, standing calmly at the center of the chamber, knew better. After 3 months on Earth, she understood why her 4 eyes had never truly seen humanity until now. She waited for the uproar to subside before speaking. "What you believe to be impossible, they achieved millennia ago," she began. "The humans didn't just hide their technology. They created an entire false civilization as a cover. But that's not what makes them unique." The chamber's lights dimmed as she activated a data crystal. Above the assembly, a new hologram appeared, a 3-dimensional map of human neural pathways that made even the most seasoned scientists gasp. "Humans are different," Zixna continued. "Their minds don't just process reality. They shape it. What we call impossible, they see as merely improbable. Where we accept limits, they see challenges. The technology they've hidden isn't just advanced, it's transformative." In the shadows of the chamber's upper tier, Sarah Chen watched with approval. This was why they'd chosen Zixna. She understood not just what humanity had achieved, but why it mattered. "The warnings we found weren't meant to protect the galaxy from Earth," Zixna revealed. "They were meant to protect humanity's work from interference. Because for 10,000 years, they'd been preparing for something only they could see coming." The hologram shifted, showing the darkness at the edge of the galaxy, the Horizon Event, a wave of entropy that consumed everything in its path, breaking down the very laws of physics. The chamber fell silent as the council members finally understood the scale of the threat. "This is why we revealed ourselves now," Sarah said, stepping into the light. The council members stared in shock at the human who had appeared in their supposedly secure chamber. "The Horizon Event will reach populated space in less than 50 years. We need allies who understand what we're facing." "And what exactly are you?" asked the council leader, their crystalline form pulsing with intense colors. Sarah smiled. "We're the result of an evolutionary path unique in the galaxy. While other species develop technology to overcome their limitations, we evolved the ability to push those limitations themselves. What you call impossible, we call Monday." She gestured, and the air around her shimmered. The chamber's security systems, the most advanced in known space, simply switched off. "The primitive civilization you see on Earth's surface, it's real, but it's also a training ground, a way to ensure we never lose touch with our drive to overcome limitations. Every human child grows up learning to do more with less, to see possibilities where others see walls. The technology you've glimpsed," Sarah continued, "it's not just advanced science, it's the product of minds that refuse to accept impossible as an answer. We don't just build better machines, we change the rules that govern them." The council leader leaned forward. "And this Horizon Event, you believe you can stop it?" "Not alone," Sarah admitted. "That's why we're here. For millennia, we've watched the galaxy's civilizations advance, each in their own way. You've all developed technologies and insights we could never have conceived. Together, we might have a chance. And if we refuse," Catal demanded, "then we'll fight alone." Sarah replied simply, "We'll stand between the galaxy and the darkness, as we have done before, but we'd prefer not to." Zixna stepped forward. "I've seen what humans can do. Their surface civilization uses fossil fuels while their hidden cities harness the power of stars. They travel in combustion vehicles while their true ships fold space itself. Everything we thought we knew about technological progression, about what's possible and what isn't, they prove it wrong simply by existing." The chamber erupted in discussion again, but this time with a different tone. The fear was being replaced by something else. Hope. Sarah watched as the galaxy's greatest civilizations began to grasp what humanity had known all along, that together they might achieve the truly impossible. "There's one thing I don't understand," the council leader said quietly to Sarah. Why maintain the deception for so long? Why not reveal yourselves sooner? Sarah's expression turned serious. Because the galaxy wasn't ready. You needed to develop your own paths, find your own solutions. If we'd revealed ourselves earlier, you would have tried to follow our path instead of forging your own. And to face what's coming, we need every path, every perspective, every unique approach to understanding reality. The leader's crystalline form pulsed with new colors, understanding, and perhaps a touch of admiration. Humanity hadn't hidden out of fear or arrogance, but out of wisdom. They had waited until the galaxy's civilizations were strong enough to be true partners, not followers. As the council began formal discussions of an alliance, Sarah smiled at Sixna, the curious researcher who had pulled at a thread and helped unravel humanity's greatest secret had become something more. A bridge between two very different approaches to understanding the universe. The game of hide and seek was over. Now the real work would begin. 1 year after humanity's revelation to the Galactic Council, the Sol system had become almost unrecognizable. Ships from 1,000 worlds filled Earth's orbit, their designs as varied as the species that created them. Below, humanity's hidden cities had emerged from their centuries of concealment, revealing wonders that still stunned even their closest allies. In the Challenger Deep Research Facility, Sarah Chen stood before a window that looked out into the ocean's darkest depths. Behind her, representatives from across the galaxy worked alongside human scientists, combining their knowledge in ways that would have been impossible just months ago. "The latest simulations are ready," Zixna announced, her 4 eyes bright with excitement. The once curious researcher had become Earth's primary liaison with the galactic scientific community. "You'll want to see this." The facility's main laboratory hummed with energy as holographic displays sprang to life. The Horizon event appeared in perfect detail, a wave of entropy that devoured light, matter, and the laws of physics themselves. But now, something was different. "We've combined Rigelian phase technology with human reality manipulation," Sixna explained. "The Kittel energy matrices provide stability, while Centaurian crystalline computing handles the calculations. It's working better than anyone expected." Sarah watched as the simulation showed their combined defense system in action. Where once the Horizon event had consumed everything in its path, now it encountered resistance. The laws of physics themselves fought back, reinforced by technology that bridged the gap between the possible and the impossible. "How many systems can we protect?" Admiral Harrison asked, studying the data. "With current projections, 80% of populated space," Zixna replied. "More if we can perfect the integration of human consciousness technology with alien quantum systems." That had been the biggest surprise for their allies. Discovering that human technology wasn't just advanced, but fundamentally different. While other species built machines to manipulate reality, humans had evolved to perceive reality's underlying code. Their technology didn't just operate within the laws of physics, it rewrote them. Director Chen, Aria's voice echoed through the lab. "The first wave of civilian integration is complete. Surface technology adaptation is proceeding faster than projected." Sarah smiled. The careful balance they'd maintained for millennia, keeping their surface civilization seemingly primitive while their true technology advanced, had served another purpose. It had taught humanity to adapt, to see possibility in limitation. Now, as advanced alien technology merged with Earth's hidden capabilities, that adaptability was proving invaluable. "Show me," she commanded. The holographic display shifted, showing cities around the world. Solar cars powered by Rigelian crystals shared roads with conventional vehicles. Quantum communication devices supplemented traditional internet infrastructure. Earth's surface civilization wasn't being replaced. It was evolving, finding its own path to merge the old with the new. "The Council was right about one thing," Harrison mused. "We could never have faced this alone. Not even with all our advancement. That was never the plan." Sarah replied. "We didn't hide to protect ourselves. We hid to protect the galaxy's diversity. To ensure that when this moment came, We have 1,000 different ways of seeing the impossible. In orbit above Earth, the combined fleet of the galaxy's civilizations conducted their first joint training exercise. Ships that bent space flew alongside vessels that phased through reality. Energy weapons powered by a dozen different theoretical frameworks tested their compatibility. Unity through diversity, humanity's gift to the galaxy. There's something else, Zixna said, her voice quieter now. We've been analyzing the original warnings, the ones that led me to Earth. They're not what we thought. Sarah turned to face her alien friend. Oh, they weren't left by afraid civilizations warning others away. They were left by those who understood. Each warning was a marker, a sign to those who would look deeper. Humanity didn't just hide. You taught the galaxy how to see. The truth of those words resonated through the facility. Every warning had been a test. Every civilization that heeded them blindly had shown they weren't ready. But those few who questioned, who looked deeper, they had proven themselves worthy of the truth. The Horizon event reaches the outer colonies in 49 years, Harrison reminded them. Will we be ready? Sarah looked around the laboratory, at humans and aliens working side by side, each bringing their unique perspective to the greatest challenge the galaxy had ever faced. The impossible was becoming possible, not through any one species' advancement, but through their combined understanding. We'll be ready, she said with certainty. Not because we're stronger or smarter or more advanced. We'll be ready because we finally understand what humanity's greatest achievement really was. And what was that? Zixna asked. Teaching the galaxy that the impossible is just something that hasn't been imagined properly yet. Above them, the combined fleet completed their maneuvers, their ships moving in patterns that defied conventional physics. Below, in cities around the world, humanity embraced their new reality while keeping hold of what made them unique. And at the edge of known space, the Horizon event continued its approach, unaware that its seemingly inevitable victory was no longer quite so certain. The age of hiding was over. The age of unity had begun, and somewhere in the depths of space, new warnings were being left, not to stay away from Earth, but to remember what humanity had taught the galaxy, that together, there is no such thing as impossible.